Russia delivered a thumping 5-0 victory over Saudi Arabia in the opening match of the World Cup in Moscow on Thursday. Yuri Gazinskiy headed Russia in front early on, before the only negative of the afternoon came for the hosts as Alan Dzagoev was forced off with a hamstring injury. Read more. Vladimir Putin laughing all the way to the bank as Saudi Arabia roll over for Russia. However, the midfielder's absence was quickly forgotten as his replacement Denis Cheryshev scored a stunning brace either side of fellow substitute Artem Dzaguyev's header, before Alexander Golovin struck with a late free kick. Despite dominating possession for long periods, Saudi Arabia struggled to create opportunities and rarely threatened the Russian goal. There was very little optimism surrounding the prospects of the host nation in the build-up to the tournament, but suddenly qualification from Group A looks likely, with matches against Egypt and Uruguay to come. Here are 5 things we learned from Russia's win. Robbie Williams makes English presence felt in Moscow. Robbie Williams casually giving billions the finger. Cool. Many England fans in Moscow currently, with the Three Lions playing their first game more than 500 miles away in Volgograd on Monday, but it only took one to make an impact at the opening ceremony. Robbie Williams inexplicably decided to raise his middle finger to the camera midway through his performance. It's hard to believe that he had this part of his performance approved by the opening ceremony organizers, but in his defense, at least it was a global gesture that could be understood by the millions watching all over the world. Russia aren't as bad as you thought. Much had been made of the hosts' failure to win any of their 6 friendlies leading up to the World Cup, but perhaps the caliber of opponent in those games wasn't taken into account. The run included fixtures against 4 of the favorites to win the tournament: Argentina, France, Brazil and Spain. Although Stanislav Cheryshyev's side have been on the end of some harsh criticism, particularly from within Russia, the coach may have the last laugh after choosing to test his squad against the elite. Alternatively, maybe they were just inspired by Russian President Vladimir Putin's pre-match speech, in which case he may need to pop into the dressing room before they take on Egypt in St. Petersburg on Tuesday. Linesmen will be more lenient with VAR in operation. The officials running the line in Russia have been instructed to give attackers the benefit of the doubt on close decisions. This was evident in the opener as a few calls that looked, and were, quite clearly offside were not flagged by the linesman. The understanding being that if a goal is scored, the VAR will then be able to retrospectively disallow the goal, whereas if an offside decision is wrongly given, there is no way the attack can be resumed. Mark Clattenburg is back in your life. Have you missed Mark Clattenburg since he quit the Premier League to become Saudi Arabia's head of referees in February 2017? Love him or loathe him, the man who has refereed both the European Championships and Champions League finals will be on your screens as part of ITV's team. Clattenburg, who has developed the sort of tan his former Premier League colleagues could only acquire through a bottle of Saint-Tropez lotion, will be helping explain the complexities of VAR to us throughout the tournament. Never afraid of delivering a controversial decision or statement, Clattenburg will no doubt enjoy the opportunity to go head-to-head with ITV pundit Gary Neville. Saudi Arabia will pass it. Right from the opening moments, Saudi Arabia displayed a willingness to pass the ball along the ground. Despite the resounding nature of the scoreline, Saudi Arabia had 59% of the possession and completed 504 passes to Russia's 318, leaving no doubt as to who Pep Guardiola would have been supporting. Guardiola's compatriot Juan Antonio Pizzi has implemented a somewhat Spanish style of play to Saudi Arabia since taking over in November 2017. Unfortunately, a lack of intensity and potency at either end of the field undermined their boldness on the ball, but at least Pizzi's side may have won over the football purists. More on the World Cup. Robbie Williams gives middle finger during World Cup opening ceremony performance. Portugal v Spain. What time does it kick off? Which TV channel is it on and who will be in the starting lineup? France v Australia. What time does it kick off? Which TV channel is it on and who will be in the starting lineup?